make sure I get this all right this time. Okay, and so we decided that it would probably be easiest if while we're gonna do some explanation of some different things that we do when we set up, and go through the group parties. And while we're doing that, if you have questions, you can write them in the chat on the side, and then we'll try to answer them as we go along. And then at the end, we'll have everybody turn their mic back on if they want to ask a question verbally, or they have something that they want to explain and have a question that goes along with it.
Yeah, so if you want, while you're doing the setup portion, I can monitor the chat and let you know if there's a question.
Okay.
And we can go ahead and just have everyone mute, and then at the end, like you said, we'll unmute people and have fun.
That sounds good. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
It has been so much better for me, seriously, doing groups, because even though I am now a stay-at-home mom, it's still crazy around here, and I was falling behind and like dropping the ball with everything with scheduled without having my scheduled posts. And there were certain ones that I really wanted to get on time, and I just never was able to get them on time, and I felt like I was like failing my hostess and everything. And so just being able to have those auto posting again has been wonderful for me. And so Kristen and I have been doing the group posts and have found some different things that have been really helpful for our groups and having parties in groups. So we thought we'd share. So first of all, I'm going to, there's a little mute either if you're on, well, if you're on your computer, it's down at the bottom left, or you can hover over your name and it has a little mute button also. I'm not sure on the phone. I don't use the phone. Kristen, do you use your phone?
I don't.
Does anybody know where the mute would be on your
I
phone?
think you can also mute people because
yeah.
you're a what are you? You're an authority figure.
I'm an authority figure. Okay. I think everybody's muted now.
I believe so.
Megan. Okay. I think Erica, did I get you? Yes. Okay. So there's a few things that I found that are really helpful when I'm actually setting up the event, the group. So when I talk to hostesses, I normally call it their Usborne party page, or their Usborne party group. I don't call it an event so that they don't get confused. Well, you just sent me a group request and I thought it was in an event, and a party I did before was an event. So I try to stay away from the word event, and I just tell them that, okay, I have your party page set up now. So I try to stay away from that event. And one of the things, I'm going to share my screen with you. One of the things that I do ahead of time, let's see, there we go, there's the thumbnails. When I am getting ready to set up my group page, I set it up like a normal group page. And one of the first things I do is I set up a custom cover photo. And this is, to me, this is very important. So this is one of my groups that I actually have right now. And this is my custom cover photo that I use. I always make sure that her name is in the cover photo, and this is her party name. And then because groups does not have an event time, I always put the event time in the cover photo, because it's Wednesday, it's July 18th, it's at 8:30, and the time zone. I don't know about y'all, but I have people who are in all different time zones, and even though she's in the Pacific time zone, she may have friends in the Eastern time zone or the Central time zone, and they get confused if I just put 8:30 p.m. So I put that there very clear, very as soon as they click on the party page, the group page, they can see that that's the event, that's what time it is, and I always put her picture in there so that they can feel a connection and they see, okay, I know Mindy, I know that's her picture, and they know they're in the right spot, and it gives them a bit more of a connection to the party, to Mindy, and try to build those relationships right away. I do this picture in Canva, and I put the little graphic of her in Canva also. And a lot of people have been confused by what design to use, or what do I like, the different dimensions are wrong. So for me, the one, as long as you're on your computer, the Facebook app one works the best for me. The dimensions are a little bit taller and a little bit longer than this cover photo, but I'll show you in a second that it's just a tiny bit at the top and the bottom, and that's okay for me, because when I actually click on it, there's just a little bit at the top here and a little bit at the bottom that it's part of my background color, background graphic that I used. And so that has worked really well for me to use the Facebook app design and just allow it to have just a little bit at the bottom and the top there. The second thing that I really have been able to do with this cover photo is I add this click here to order portion. And when I clicked on the cover photo, I have this little description here that says, click on this link to purchase books for your kiddos and help Mindy earn free books, yay! And this is Mindy's party link. So when people come to, if they already know a lot about Usborne and they know they want to get something and they just want to go there and support her and purchase something, they have just in the big bold letters right there, they know right away, this is how I can order. When we were in events, it was a little bit easier to be able to see the description or a link. It was up at the top right there when you scrolled. And over in groups, it's a little bit harder. You have to either click on about over here, or you have to go down further. And so it's a bit harder to see. So I just have click here to order right in big bold letters so that they can find it right away. And I have not really had anybody ask me, where do I order? Where do I find the link to go to Mindy's party? Anything like that. So that has been wonderful. Let's see. Another thing, when you are getting ready to set up your party, you will want to go to this little more section here. And this is very, very important. You want to go to edit the group settings. And this is where you can put her description. And I still put something similar, but it's a bit harder to find. And down here, you can go to membership approval. First of all, make sure your settings are also either most of the time I use the secret group. But the membership approval, you want it to always only admin and moderators. I did not catch this or do this at first, and I had my hostess inviting people, and it was not as easy to catch mass invitations. And then once my hostess added people, then someone else added people, and I realized that it was very difficult to keep track of who was adding who, and I didn't really want other people adding. I wanted just the hostess adding. And so having the membership approval only admin and moderators, so that when the hostess is adding, I can see that it was her who added, and I can catch whether she's doing a mass invite or not. I cannot always stop her from doing that. I wish I could do that, but it still happens, but it gives me a chance to see that she suddenly added 30 to 50 people, and I have to go in and approve all those people. So that gives me an opportunity to be able to go talk to her and say, hey, did you invite all these people? And they all said yes, or what? And try to get a conversation with her to let her know, hey, go back to those friends that you haven't invited yet, or they haven't responded, and just let them know why you thought it would be good, something like that. So make sure the membership approval is on.
Hey, Joylyn.
Yes.
We have a question from Alicia. She says, so they need to give us a list prior to the group party for us to invite?
No. Once, this is very similar to events where you had the host invite 25, like I still tell them our goal is 25 people, and have them message for the week or 2 weeks beforehand, and I keep up with them and say, hey, how's your messaging going, how's it going, are you getting to 25? And once she says that she's getting close to 25, or it kind of depends on different situations, but once I'm ready to add her into this group, I add her as a member just right over here. I'll add her name, and then she can go in and add members, but I still have to approve them. So I think all the members are approved right now. Yeah, so it would be down here where it would say that they would have to be approved still. So she can go in and add, but I still have to approve. Right here, it says added by Mindy. So that tells me that it was Mindy who added them, and I can go ahead and approve them. If I see that it was added by Ashley Gustafson or something like that, I can talk to Mindy about talking to Ashley about hosting a party, something like that. But my host is still able to add, but I have to ultimately do the approving of the additions. And so that gives me the opportunity to still see that she has added 1 or 2 at a time, or she has added 50 at one time. And with events, we can easily see that going, not going, going, maybe not going. And with groups, when I had the hostess giving approval, I sometimes would forget to go back to that members to make sure that she was only adding a few at a time. And then it would just be too late for me to be able to talk to her about a mass invite that I accidentally missed. And so just having me only being able to approve them allows me to catch that better. But she can still add them. I still have to approve them. And once I approve them, all the different people can see the posts. Does that all make sense? All right, so I'm going to go back and hand over the mic to Kristen. She's going to talk a little bit about some of our pre-party messaging.
Have to unmute myself. Okay. Did you want to finish setup, or do you want to go back to that stuff, like the Visly only one picture in each post?
Oh, I did forget that. Let me go back to that.
Okay.
Let's see.
And then link your group party to VIP page.
I did miss that. I just got all excited about one thing.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we got it. You're good.
Okay, so one thing that has been helpful for me, I think I've had a few more people actually come to my VIP page, is that when you're doing your setup, you can link other groups to this specific group. If you go to our Usborne and S'mores page, we actually have this also, different ones that either Megan or the leaders have recommended. So whenever you want to recommend a group, add this also, because this is my VIP group, Promoting Literacy. And I have added this as a recommended group. And when her new guests go online or go onto this page, they'll see that recommended by the admin group page. So they can check that out, or they can, if they want to join my VIP group. I've actually had just a few more people join than I had before when I did not have that on there. One last thing about setup. When we are doing group page parties, group events, I have found that it's very important that we have only one picture per post. When we do like the Battle of the Books or something else that has 3 or 4 or 5 or 7 pictures all in that post, if one person comments on the Battle of the Books, and says, I like the Muddle and Match better, that totally separates the post, and it's got the Muddle and the one battle of the books up here, and it has the rest down here. So it gets all jumbled up in the group. And so I have figured out, decided that I wanted to do just one post, one picture per post. So like a game beforehand, I'll just do one post like this. Another good one to show you, instead of doing a lot of bestsellers, I did the top 10 bestsellers and made it to one picture. Another good one to show you is the choose. Where's the choose one? Here. This one is where I used to have like 8 different pictures, and it had all the different age levels and different things like that. And so, and people would comment on those different ones. And so it would just like break it up, and I want it to still look very organized so they're not confused. And so I just put this one right here. You choose, and then you can choose from one of the videos here. So that has made it, I did decide to keep this one as 2, and because I thought it was still very important to have both of these, the customer special, and which is, yeah, this is current, I think. So I did decide to have this one as multiple pictures, but every single one of the other ones is one picture total, so that it does not break it up and discombobulate the flow of everything and get everyone confused. Let's see now. Did I miss anything now? Okay. Okie dokie. So I think I got everything. So Kristen, you can go ahead now.
Alrighty. Okay. Let me pull up my cheat sheet.
Did have one question though. Megan, are you keeping your books, Rex, just one book cover? Kristen and I actually talked about that today or yesterday.
Today, I think so.
I still do my book recommendations all the same as I have done before. I have been doing a lot more live recommendations, but with those live recommendations, I have still been uploading the 5, 10, 15 little tabs, little thumbnails of the pictures with as a second post, because I was getting a lot of interaction on those, and so some people were finding books that they didn't see before, or there's just a lot of interaction, and those do break up the posts, but I still think for those it's really worth it, and it is all before the party. So it's a little, people are just looking around anyways. So I feel that one is worth it. And I still do multiple book covers for the book recommendations.
Same here. I still do them like that. And I haven't had anybody comment individually on one, but I have done, I did a strengths and struggles one instead of an ages and interests one. And I did make a graphic with multiple like of the book covers on it instead of having one on each one, and it looked really organized and nice. So I kind of actually have liked that, and I'll probably create a real graphic because I just kind of threw that one together, and I'll probably do that from now on because I like that a lot better. It looks really like put together and clean. So all right, going into pre-party messages. So with groups, one of the things that's really important is pre-party. You want to do all your work on the front end, and it's going to make your life so much easier because on the back end, you're not going to, I mean, all your orders are probably going to be coming in first and second day with ease. I find that I have to do way less follow-up if I start with doing pre-party messages, which is really nice for me because it's less work. It's less work for my host. It's very nice. So I've got 3 messages that I send out pre-party. If someone has accepted the invitation to the group and they haven't participated in anything, I'll say something like, "Hi, Heather. I just wanted to take a second to introduce myself as your Usborne book expert for Miranda's party. Thank you so much." Oh, sorry, that's the other one. "Is this your first Usborne party?" And the reason I asked that question is because I want to be able to explain how to party, how to have an Usborne party personally, because no one ever reads my post about let's participate in everything. No one reads it. It's at the very beginning of the party. Even if it's the day of the party, I have very little interaction on that post. So I want to be able to message these people and tell them how to party with Usborne. So that very first initial message is just really simple, 3 sentences. Hi, Heather, just introducing myself. Is this your first party? So simple. It's not pushy. It's not salesy. And I'm getting a ton of replies, which is really nice because I'm building rapport prior to ever even talking to them in the party. So that's really cool. If they have already participated, you just kind of change it up a little bit and you just say something like, you say the same stuff. Hi, Judy, just wanted to take a moment to introduce myself. Thank you so much for already being so interactive. I love it. And then I just ask them, is this your first party? You can ask another question. Sometimes I ask, do you own any Usborne books? But again, the reason I like asking that final question of, is this your first Usborne party, is because I want to know, have they attended one? Because if they haven't, or even if they have, I kind of already, like, I go into it either way. If they haven't, I'm like full on, okay, participate in everything. We're going to have an awesome raffle and I want you to win. Okay. And I'm like, make it really big, make her excited about it and get her pumped up. And I tell her, go back there, participate. I've got 2 posts already up, participate in those 2. And that'll get you 10 entries. Like, that's crazy. So you just make it really exciting. And if you can voice message that, that's even better. Voice message is amazing. For people who have attended a party before, I'll usually just say something like, oh, that's awesome. So you should already know to participate in every single thing. Like, you have been here before, so you know how to party. We want it to be like a party, like you're at home partying with your friends. Chat with everybody, reply to everybody, even replies to people get you entries. It's crazy. It's so easy to win those free books. Like, just pump it up. The participation has increased like tenfold for me just with doing pre-party messages. I'm booking parties in advance without even having people, like, I'm not having to find parties. Like, I'm able to get those parties first thing before we even go into it. I'm not even having to do like, I'm giving away $20 in free books for your party. Like, I don't have to sugarcoat it at all. I'm getting parties just because I'm friendly, trying to figure out what they want and just thanking them, and it's not pushy. So that's super important, is those messages right there. I'm going to share my screen because I want to show you where you're going to do those messages at. Because you're not going to just kind of just send them. Let's see, share screen. So in events, you had this like crazy thing that we don't really like to use where you can, what was it? It was like message people in your event, and it would also send a link to the event every time you message them. And it's really annoying. No one ever opens it. In groups, you can actually come in to your members. Let me move this. So I'm going to go back to, this is an old party. So you can come back into your members. Over here, you can check out your members on the left, or you can come over here and click the 24 members. Either way, it takes you there. And then if you come down, okay. If you come down, you can message each person individually. Because they've accepted your invitation to the group, Facebook is happier to send your message. And I'm getting really great messages, message contacts through that, because Facebook is like, well, they've already accepted the group message. I mean, they've already accepted being in the group, so they clearly want to be in the group, and the person who is messaging them is okay because that contact has been made. So it's made it really easy to get in contact with everyone, if that kind of makes sense. The other thing is, whenever people are invited, but they haven't joined the group, they've been invited, haven't joined the group, and you, like in events, you have that maybe, and you still have that invited tab to know who's been invited but hasn't RSVP going. In groups, you kind of have the same thing in this members section. You can click invited and you can see all of the people. This is mine. So you can see the people who have been invited but haven't actually accepted the invitation into the group. And you can press send reminder. and it will send me an email. But if it were my Facebook, it would send me a Facebook message. And you can just press send reminder, and it sends me a reminder that I was invited to Nicole's Booktastic party group. And it's just really easy. And so that's been really cool to get people to accept the invitation better, since we don't have that RSVPing going on. But we do know that they've accepted the invitation. And then I kind of know if somebody's unavailable too. So like members who have unavailable accounts. So maybe if you're trying to do a bingo thing and you're like, hey, if you invite like 20 people more, blah, 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 you'll actually be able to find out if they're trying to cheat the system. Some people are crazy. It's happened. So you'll be able to know if they are trying to invite people who don't actually like have an account or who aren't people, because it'll be right here. They're not available. So that's kind of the whole thing with messages. The reminders to join are really important. I think I do those 2 days. So if I have people in the party 4 days out, I'll do the reminders 2 days in. And then I'll also send them a message just in case, because sometimes if the reminder doesn't get to them, so Facebook likes to, do their censoring that they like to do. If they, for some reason, don't get that reminder, I like to send them a message saying, hey, don't forget to accept Nicole's invitation to her party. And then again, go on with that introduction message. Any questions to that? Okay.
No.
I hope that made sense.
In the chat.
Did that make sense? Okay. All right. Next up, with groups, I'm going to turn it back off of screen share. Sorry, I have dual monitors, so I'm trying to move everything around. Stop share, stop share, stop share.
Do you want to share your, if you're going to, are you going to share your screen for your pre-party games?
Yes, but I don't want, I guess it doesn't matter. Let's see. I should have it in this one. There it is. Okay. All right, so pre-party games. Sorry, you're probably gonna hear my kid in the background. Pre-party games, super, super important. I find that I have to play more games in groups. I don't know if I probably should have played more games than events or what, but games have made my party like crazy. And it's not just games. The thing is, you don't want to do just games about books. You kind of want to do games about other things. So that's why I started kind of doing the 90s trivia. I have one of my girls, she's doing a movie trivia, and that's worked out really well for her. So with the 90s trivia, this is a pre-party game that I do 15 minutes before the party starts. And the reason I do this is because I have 5 questions in part of this trivia, and a post goes up every 3 minutes. So the final post is going to go up 3 minutes before that party actually starts. And that has led my people into just like all the guests have just funneled from the trivia game into the party. And I've like increased my participation, especially because the 90s trivia is so interesting and so fun. People love it so much that they want to come for 90s trivia. And oh, while I'm here, I might as well stay because the party is here, So I've increased my participation a lot with just doing this one like 90s trivia game. You always do it. This is why having Visly or doing like the Facebook automatic posts is important, because this is so fast. I mean, every 3 minutes you're posting. There's no way you're going to be able to do that and manage going into like regular posts. So you're going to want an automatic posting system to post all of those 5 for you, because it's just too much.
And Alicia is asking, where do you find this game?
I made this game. I made this game myself. I did put it in S'mores for you guys. It's in the party games section. I have 3 different, this is the announcement graphic that I made. I've got one for 7:45. So if you have a party at 8 o'clock, that's the one that you're going to use. This one's for a party that's at 8:30. I've also got one for 8:45 for your parties that are at 9 p.m. So I made sure to try and cover all of the most used party times in there. But yeah, you can find all of that in the Party Games album in S'mores. And I'll probably be working on more of these to put in there because I want to like do more than just 90s trivia, and I might update some questions and things like that. But I made this in Canva, and you are more than welcome to have fun in Canva. I promise you, it is so much fun. So much fun. I love Canva. So this is one of my favorite graphics. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little proud of it. So whenever you announce this game, you want to announce it 2 hours before it starts. Whenever you do the announcement, this is very important. You are going to come up here at the very top of your group's page, and right here where it oh shoot, I got to go to a different one. I don't have any new members. So up here, this is a terrible graphic. Don't judge me on that one. It was last minute. Right here at the very top, you have 8 new members this week. Write a post to welcome them. This is where you want to put that announcement post. So I've got 8 new members this week, and it's going to automatically populate the 8 new members. I'm going to open the rest of those members up in a new tab and start adding them to this page right here. The reason you want to use this is because, again, we don't know how Facebook's algorithms work. But one thing we have found out is that when we use their posts and what they want us to use, people are more likely to see it. Facebook wants us to use this welcoming members post. So we're going to use it. I use this post to announce that 2 hours prior. And I mean, when I say everyone sees this post, I probably have 2 or 3 people who don't see that post. And that's the great thing about groups is you know who's seen it. I mean, it says seen by 4. I know who's seen it, not seen 12. So this party, I'm not going to talk about this party. So this is, you're going to have that right post, and that's how you're going to do the announcement. If you have a really great host, I would have that host message everyone and let them know that the party is going to have a 90s trivia starting 15 minutes before, followed by the first party post coming up at 8 p.m. And that has also, so having that announcement post and having my hostess message everyone, the combination of the two has been really great. And then I will probably, most of the time, I even send a pre-party message because I really want people there, and I don't want any lack of participation or lack of people who maybe haven't seen the message from their person. But I've already got a lot of contacts pulled together because I've been sending pre-party messages and already been in contact with a lot of these people. So I also message them and I say, hey, we are going to have an awesome 90s trivia game. It's going to be so much fun. You have to be there. Like, have to. You're not going to want to miss it. So much fun. And again, it's just playing up how fun it's going to be and that participation. So that is the 90s trivia game that I do. I've got a bunch of tips on the 90s trivia game all in the album. And we're also going to have a sheet that we're going to put in here for you guys to look at afterwards. So let's see, what else did I have? Okay. Another game tip, make sure that pre-party at some point, could be 2 days before, 1 day before, whenever. I prefer doing mine the day of, but earlier in the day, like 6 hours before the party, because I don't want to take away from my 90s trivia game. So earlier that morning, probably like around 12 o'clock, I will do a game that requires them to message me everything. So let's see, the Friends game. I wonder if I did it in here. The Friends game, the Title Scramble game, anything that has them message you the answers so that anyone who hasn't seen your message will be able to see it as soon as they send you their answers. And that will also open up more avenues of communication. There we go. So this time I did the Title Scramble game, and you don't have to say much. You just got to say, here's a pre-party game. And I did that one at 6 o'clock. So I did that one a little bit later than I normally do. And this makes them message me the answers. So even more people are contacting me and more Facebook messages are being established. So at this point, I've got between 60 and 80% of the people I have messages open with, which is really, really great. Those are high numbers. In events, I had, I'm not kidding, between 10 and 20% opening messages with me and messaging back and forth. And I don't know if that was me, like the way I was doing messages, which it could be. I was very new at the time, so it could be how I was approaching things. But the combination of all of these things we're telling you right now has increased all of the messages that I have going with party guests before the party even starts. The next thing that has increased participation in parties game-wise is Nicole's 30 questions game that she has in her mystery host party. I will go to my mystery host party because it was insane with participation. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Those are my new images. Oh, there's my Friends one that I did. I really like the Friends one. I did redo this one, and it's also in S'mores. Going live to announce winners. People love that. If you're not going live, you need to be going live. Sorry, guys, I'm getting there. All right. This is what I was talking about earlier, by the way, Joylyn, when I was saying that I started just making images that had everything. So like fine and gross motor skills as the struggle to get baby grabbing. I just included some books that would get their baby working on some fine motor skills, and to get your baby moving to work on gross motor skills. And that's what?
An alternative to all the tabs of the different books, all the thumbnails.
Yes, exactly. And it's just one picture. And I'm able to tag everyone who said, so like Cassandra and Brittany both said that their kiddos' current struggles or current like things that they're working on are fine and gross motor skills. So I was able to tag both of them and kind of point out some books that I think they would do really well with, and just do one picture. And that was, again, it doesn't have to be incredibly beautiful at this point. I plan on revamping everything, but I just wanted a way to get it out there where it was just one picture and I didn't have to do a bunch of pictures, and everyone can see it as they're scrolling through. So that was my other thing, is if other people have babies at home and they forgot to mention them, or they forgot to say, oh, you know what, we're working on fine motor skills too. If they're scrolling through, they can see a snapshot of all of the images rather than seeing here's 3 and here's 80 more plus 80, and they don't see the other images. So that's a really great way to do that.
Alicia has a question.
Perfect.
How do you make the tabs with one picture instead of different ones that will divide? I think she's talking about how did you make that graphic instead of having uploading the different ones. Yes, she says yes.
Okay, Canva.
Yeah.
Canva. I will go to Canva real quick. It won't take very long. I'll show you Canva. While that's loading, let me go to my mystery host though. So in Canva, there is a free edition and there's also a paid edition. I pay for it because I feel like it's worth it. So this right here is we'll go back to the Canva, but this right here is that game that Nicole did in her mystery host party that's in S'mores. It was really amazing. 102 comments total. And I played this just randomly, like day 2 of them being in the party. So it was a really, really beginning pre-party game. And I had that many people participate. And I even botched it, which is really funny because they did not care at all. They had so much fun with it. Someone said the correct book like 10 comments in, and I totally spaced and I saw it, but for some reason I didn't register that it was the right book. And I was like, nope. And then it just kept on going. But what was really great about it was I got them searching for more and more books, and they had so many people like guessing and on the website, and they were just looking and looking and looking, and they just went crazy over it. So that right there was a really, really great game. So I highly recommend doing that one. All right, Canva. So this is Canva here. I've got some works in progress. This is me working on what Joylyn has. I'm creating my own for that. So this is that. I know it looks a lot like hers too. That's funny, isn't it?
I was like, hey.
Yeah, this picture balloon though, I really like the balloons because there's like, it's like party behind it. Is that the one you've got?
It almost looks like it.
Yours has like gosh.
A little boy jumping.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So I like the balloons. I've used this one before. I really like it. I use it a lot. But yeah, I'm working on hers, but I'm playing with everything else because I don't know. I want it to be like me, but I'm also like trying to figure out how the dimensions work because for some reason the dimensions don't work for me like they work for her. Hers look really good. So if you go to Canva.
Kristen, it's Megan.
Hey.
Hey, did you guys, Joylyn, did I send you my dimensions that day that worked for me? Who did I reply to?
I saw it on Facebook. I have not tried those dimensions, but
okay. I'll look up the exact perfect ones and I'll put it in the comments for you guys because I finally found them.
Oh, perfect. Because I tried one of the ones that was on S'mores and I can't remember where it was. It was still not working for me, but I'm really good with the Facebook posts though. So like the everything, there's my 90s trivia. I made that all through here. Social skills and self-confidence. I made that real quick. I made this one here, all in Canva. The difference with this one though is it was business. So I had to pay for it, but it was worth it because it looks really, really cute. So this is a did you know, and it's stuff from the science, and I plan on going live with that science book. So this is Canva. If you haven't been there, you have to. And that's a little tangent on Canva.
Yeah.
I think that's really it on that part. The last thing that I really want to talk about is just talking about current standings. This is something new I've started doing to increase participation. I have started telling people where they currently stand in raffle entries, and it has really sparked a fire in people to know where they're standing. And I use that same welcome member post that we have to welcome everyone, and then I use that to put everyone's entries right next to their name. And here's a good one right here, I believe. Yes. Okay. So here's where the entries are going into the party night. You can go back and participate in posts to catch up to some of these crazy people. Every comment is an entry, even a reply to someone. Likes do not count because some people are really lazy and just want to like everything, and that is not participating. So I just have everyone's entries next to it. And I will tell you, these people at the end of the party, I had like 118, 125 entries, and it was really insane. And I always include that with how to earn entries. This was my mystery host party, so I included this graphic where you were able to invite a friend. I will not do that with normal parties. This was just my mystery host party because I wanted to add more people to my group, my VIP group. Do not do this in regular parties. You do not want people inviting friends because you want them to have a party with you, and then they can invite friends to their own party. So create your own image for that. But that is kind of it with pre-party games and with current standings and making sure you've got participation questions.
No questions on this.
Okay. Did all of that make sense? I know we kind of went on a Canva tangent a little bit.
It's good though. Good to
Canva is really important.
Advertise Canva, yes. I make all my graphics in Canva also, and if you haven't used it, definitely use even just the free version. I still have just the free version. I'm just about on the verge of paying for it because I use it so much now.
I know I use it too much. I can't. Like, I want all the cute images. How do I get out of screen share? It's not giving me.
There's should be something on the top that says stop screen.
There it goes. It wasn't giving it to me.
One thing that I do with the welcome new members that Kristen uses to add people, and as she was saying, that Facebook likes that we use that welcome new members link. And so I also use that to my advantage, and I use that a lot for directing them to the recommendations post. And recently someone had suggested to get people excited and give away prizes before the party starts too. And so I've started using the welcome new members post to tag everybody and direct them and tell them, go to the recommendations post. I want to give you some good recommendations. And anybody who comments on there before a certain time is going to enter into a raffle to get a new travel book. And I like to call it travel book. I think I got it from Gina because it's different, it's unique, it's not like a mini book that looks like it's like half of something that is normal. It's a fun travel book that you can take along with you in the car anywhere you go, which is really so true. Use that welcome new members to your advantage. And I think both Kristen and I have found that messaging through groups, through the new members, through the what she showed you on the side, to click on the members and then click on the write a message. I have not gotten blocked at all, and I've done a lot of messaging through them, and I've done a lot of quick messaging through the group. And Facebook seems to like that we're doing it that way, because I have.
Yep.
Have you gotten blocked at all, Kristen?
Not at all. Even when I copy and paste a message.
Yes.
I'm like, hey, Valerie. Boo.
Yes.
Hey, Megan. Boo.
So that has been super encouraging to me when I just need to do a lot of stuff really quick and get all these messages out before my baby wakes up or something.
Even when I post a lot in there. So like when you're doing book recommendations and you have like an hour finally to yourself and you're sitting there posting book recommendations every 10 or 15 minutes, I haven't been getting blocked or saying that I'm posting too much or posting similar content or anything like that.
Yeah, Facebook seems to favor people connecting through groups versus through these events that were mass invited and just kind of ignore things like that. Another huge tip with these Facebook algorithms and stuff, and Kristen mentioned it a few minutes ago, go live. Like, I cannot stress that enough. When Facebook sees that you're going live, that they put that at like the most important thing that could be done in Facebook, and they notify everybody when people get on their Facebook to start flipping. You are right there at the top because they are in your group and you are going live. So Facebook thinks that is super important, and they put that right there at the top. So going live, even to do book recommendations, or one of the ladies on my team, she likes to go live about 15-20 minutes ahead of time to let people know how the party is going to work, different things like that. And that lets people know, oh, my party's tonight, and kind of gives them a notification, remember, you wanted to go to this party. And go live with your host favorites, go live to share how it's impacted your family, go live for the points and the drawings. Just going live, I think, is super, super important with groups and getting people excited. First of all, we know that gets them excited when they see the books. And it's just, Facebook allows them to see that much easier, much quicker, more often. Would you guys share a sweet script about introduction messages you have? Ferris, I think what you're talking about is what we're actually going to share in a few minutes. Everything that we're sharing with you, we typed up into a document that has all these different bullet points and different things that we're going to share this with everybody afterwards. So all the messages that Kristen just talked about, she has written all those out for us posts for everybody also. So yes, yay. Oh, Carolyn, tell me the group related question. I did it with a party last week. The categories to organize the posts. That's one thing that I forgot to add on there. Let me share my screen. That was the one thing I forgot to add. Let me share my screen real quick with you.
Yes, it's topics. It's called topics. Not tagging. It's very different. They've got like tags where it says Usborne Books and More down there. What we want is topics.
Let me get to one of my groups here again. Where am I?
Because I kept trying to make it in a tag, and I'm like, why won't it let me tag recommendations?
We have popular topics that are not, it is not tagging someone, it's not tagging something. You can manage these topics. You can also manage them in the More, I believe. And people can see these on the side. And if they have questions about ordering, I have put topics for 2 different posts. And this is one that has just started, so I haven't added things yet. But when you are, do I have one down here yet? No, let's see. Let me get into a different group. When you are adding a post, you can go down and let's see. Is it not going to do that here? Let's see. Pin. Did it already pin? That one's from Visly Edit. Is it going to have me do it? Some of these don't let you do it afterwards.
Try doing a new post and typing in something.
Discard, yes, discard changes. Let me do it in the other. Let me go back to the other one then. Because the other one I have them all set up. So you can go in and let's take my. So I can write a post here. And I normally do it after I add it though. Do you do it before you add it? Oh, here, it shows right here. Sorry, guys.
You can do both. It shows you in the write something too. If you click in there, it says add topics right underneath the backgrounds and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
You can do it both ways.
So you can write the post here, and then these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ones that I've added. So like on my, when I do the customer special or free shipping on 75 or more, I'll add that to it. Some of my different recommendations I'll add there. People have trouble finding the welcome post sometimes, so I'll add it there, or the RSVP. And you can also add the topic. I always add it afterwards. And you can add it there also. So this helps, I think, helps people really find things a little bit easier, because with events, we had everything in order from when we posted it. And then in groups, it's depending on what they most recently commented on. So this is what people have most recently commented on. And so this is why this one is at the very top. And so sometimes it gets jumbled up. And Carolyn, I use these topics to try to organize and help people find things a little bit easier.
I will say Facebook is still finicky with a few of these things that they've newly incorporated. So like I've got one party that the topics are not a thing in that party for some reason. I've got another party where I do have topics, and it's just the same with pinning posts and announcements. In some groups you can pin a post, in other groups you can make an announcement. When you make announcements, you can make as many announcements as you want. Think, okay, it's like 15 or 5 or something like that. You can make a bunch though. With pin posts, you can only put one pin post. But it's like they're trying to transition from pinning posts to making announcements and into having topics. So sometimes you might not have those features, and that's why you're not seeing them.
Yes, I agree. And I've had the same, and it looks like Megan has had the same, that they're kind of in transition with these topics versus pins and announcements. So it's kind of a gamble. You might get the pinned post or you might get the announcements. I think that first party that I tried to do the tags in, that one didn't have the tags. And the second party where I actually had the tags on the side. So it's kind of a gamble right now. If you have them, I would highly suggest using them. They've been helpful for me to refer different people to and show different people a screenshot of that and say, hey, if you're confused or you're looking for something specific, look at the side here, and they'll be able to see those also.
Yes. And Alicia, what we mean by pinned post is the pinned post. If you have the option to pin a post, you're going to click on the post, the three. Let me see if I've got it. It might be easier to just share my screen really quick. So like here, you can click the three over here, and you can, this is my pinned post, so I can unpin the post. Right now, I don't have announcements in this one. This one is pin post. If I come down here, I can pin a new post, pin post, and it will unpin this post and then pin this one. You can only have one pinned post at a time. A pinned post will show up at the very top of your page all the time. With announcements, my group has announcements, I believe. Let me check. Yes, so my VIP page has transitioned to announcements, which is really nice. So I've got this as my announcement right now, which is my July party schedule. And then I can create this as an announcement, and it doesn't knock this one off. You can have multiple announcements. And if someone clicks the announcements tab on the left, you can see all of the announcements that you have. And if I had multiple, I would be able to see multiple, but I do not. So that is the difference with that, if that makes sense.
And those are important to, when you pin those posts or you put those as announcements, if you've never done that before, they always stay at the very top. And so I always pin or announce my recommendations post. So if they're looking for it, it's right at the top. Or if they come in, it's their first time and they're just trying to look and they want to see what they want to comment on or something, but that one's right at the top. And that one to me is, for me, is very important. So I always have that one right there for everybody to see.
Yes, I keep that one actually pinned all the way until like party time. I keep it pinned up until I make my announcement of my 90s trivia, because my 90s trivia has the 15-minute, like when we're doing 90s trivia, and I really want people there. So
most of everything we've gotten. Do we want to take everybody off mute and they can ask us?
Yeah, sounds good.
The rest of what we have on here is kind of self-explanatory.
Does it let you do something? Yes. So your VIP group may not have transitioned from a pinned post yet to announcements. So it's going to have one or the other, though. Your VIP group is going to have a pinned post, or you're going to have the ability to do announcements. It's going to have one or the other. But it will probably transition to the make announcements portion.
So if y'all have questions, you can unmute yourself now and you don't have to use the chat. If you have a situation or a question or something you wanted to ask us, if we've gone through it.
You might not have the topics in your VIP group yet, especially if you created it before topics was created. And since topics is newer, it may take a while for them to integrate it into all of the groups.
So how did you create those topics?
You can create them yourself. At the very beginning, it will just be blank with the topics up there, and you manage them. And then once you want to create your first one, you just type it in, and it creates it.
Okay.
Those were not like given to me. I made those specific words.
I figured you did, but I just wasn't sure where you created them at. So, okay.
if you have not gone to groups, you definitely should.
Yes.
It's very, very,
I love it.
been very, very good.
It's nice to not have to post anything.
I agree.
That alone is saving my life.
I know.
Posting things and just tracking. You guys know, I think, that I track everything in spreadsheets. And for my last couple of parties, I have had over 20 book recommendations to do for them. Like, it's just been very, very different from my event parties. Like, coaching my hostesses is a little different, and I think we will eventually have to rework our host coaching timeline for our team. But I've been using the one from Katie Allen to get tips from her and kind of revising it to work for me. And I really like it. My hosts have been very encouraged by it. They've been doing the things that I ask them to. So if you haven't found it, go to the Templates album on s'mores. And it's in one of the comments in there. And just read through that thing because it has great ideas. And I don't do, she sets up her group and she sends her hostess the link right away. I don't do that. I still give them time to invite and then follow back up with them and say, hey, how's it going? And check in, because I just don't want my hostess to be like, well, she gave me the link. Why do I really have to invite? So,
And I think you bring up something important, because I've coached some different people who have also used groups, and then if they're new to groups, it looks like you have to invite at least one person in order to start your group. And I always add my email.
Yep.
That works for me. I saw Kristen did that too.
Yeah.
I always add my email, so I don't have to add another person or my host. And so I learned that right away, especially with coaching people on my team also who are using groups.
Yes.
Just use your email. Don't add your hostess as that extra person that you need to add.
Or if you need to add anyone, add your team leader so they can help you with the party. Like, that's who you need to add.
So I've been adding my husband. And for some, one thing you have to know is, well, the thing is, some groups are shifting to, depending on people's settings, they have to accept the invitation to be in the group. And my husband apparently has to accept. So he's not accepting any of them, but Facebook thinks it's okay. I mean, maybe Facebook is going to get angry at me, but right now it's working. So
That's what mine sits in the invited category. I do test the reminder feature though by sending myself a reminder through it, because you can send people reminders in the members. Whenever you select members, on the right hand side you can select invited, blocked, or whatever. If you select invited, you can send a reminder and you don't even have to type anything. Facebook just sends them a quick reminder. Real cool.
Yes.
Any other questions?
More questions about it? I think Megan has a question for Megan.
do I know what that setting is? I don't, because apparently I have it set. Because I had someone trying to add me to a group and they were like, it's saying you're blocked, it's saying you're blocked, it's saying you're blocked. And I was like, I haven't changed anything. So I need to go through my settings and see what might be strict on mine. Because maybe I do have some of mine tight, because being a former foster mama, I haven't changed very many privacy things. So I don't know. Totally think it's a privacy setting somewhere. I am finishing up a party that I was working on while you guys were talking. And I know that this is another thing that some of you are newer and haven't seen before. So I'm going to show you really quickly. I just have different screens up. So on my party, I go to mine that has announcements and not pinned things. And on my party, I go through and I add all of the book recommendations in the shopping post and just relink every single recommendation I did and tag their name.
I like it.
I like that.
Just so you don't have to go, because honestly, I've been tallying points while you guys have been talking. And even with this topics thing, I've been getting really frustrated at the order of the posts, especially when there are 20 book recommendations floating in there too. So I like to make it as easy as possible for people to go find their stuff. So this is just another thing in any type of platform that you're doing. Make it really easy for your guests to go shop.
Yes.
Really simple. So
Megan, are you still doing your recommendations? Like, did you just go live or okay.
no,
So you're doing them. Okay. That's how I've been doing mine. I was just making sure that's how you were still doing them.
yeah, I am. And honestly, there have been just a few things in this party that have been commented on. I'm trying to find it, like here, they commented on All Better. But if it gets people commenting on the book recommendations and makes those pop up in the thread, I don't care if books are popping up.
Yep.
You know? If it's random stuff that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So, and I did what Kristen's been doing. I went through and I posted an update of all of the points midday today, just to show people where they were, and had them like the post just to see who was paying attention. And that was another tip from Katie Allen also. That was great today. So lots and lots of book recs in this, but anyway, just wanted to show you all that
I like that
thing, because it takes a few minutes after the party's over, but it's so helpful.
And you can create a group and just play with it. Like that's what I'm doing with, because Joylyn told me what graphic she was using, and it's going to be in there. That's what I'm doing with that. I'm just playing with it to figure out like what dimensions I like, and then I'm going to make the one that I want. And if it works out, it works out. But just make your own group and just play with everything, play with the features. You can add like your husband and have him comment on stuff and just get comfortable with it.
I just heard that tip from director or senior, I don't know if she's a director or senior director, Melody Stroud. What is her name? Stroud? Melody. She just said that she has a practice group where she like dumps things in there. And I was like, why have I never thought of that? To test stuff out instead of pretending and not posting in my VIP group and s'mores and
yes, that's a very good tip. That's what I've been doing as I've been figuring out groups also. And even today, as I was trying to do that Facebook video, this thing, I kept posting in my my Joy Lynn's Usborne party group so that I can search for easily. And then like some of the different features that are newer, there's this watch the party.
Yes, watch parties.
So I was playing around with that, and yes, I definitely encourage to, as there's new features and as there's different things, or as you're trying to start out with groups, make your own group, your own, just a practice group like Megan and Kristen said, and you can post through Visly to see what it looks like, or you can post, do whatever you want in there, and nobody's going to see it, or go live and see what you need to do or anything.
Yeah, I've got that cover photo posted like 8 times to try and figure out like where I want to put things.
Takes practice.
It does.
Canva's practice.
It is a lot of practice. But once you have like the settings, you can move things around and put whatever you want, wherever you want, and you know it's going to fit like perfectly. Because the way you've got things spaced out on yours, that's what I was playing with, was that spacing. And that's where it's key, because if you're looking on your phone, if you're looking at groups on your phone, it's got the circle. And so wherever you put like Joy Lynn's Facebook party, 8:30, Tuesday, the 13th, whatever, you want that to be like the center of the bubble. And if it's not the center of the bubble, then you need to move things around. And I'm finding that with mine, it's like I have to put all of that at the center and they can see it perfectly in the circle. Because most people are going on their phone, are like partying on their phones. And so I've been like with one of the parties that I showed y'all the cover photo, everything's been in the center. And I think I'm liking that because it's the first thing that they see when they look at the circle on their phone. Because that's all, it's just a small circle that you see when you go to your groups. So just playing with things and finding out what works for you. But your spacing is like perfect.
It took a lot of practice.
Yeah. I'm going to play with it though. It's a lot of fun. I love playing with graphics.
And Megan did, yeah, I love graphics. Megan did put if you want to write that down, she did put the dimensions of her Canva cover photo.
Yeah, it's pretty, this is the size that it turns out to be. This is what I've been doing for my cover photos lately. I put pictures of my hostess and their children up here, and then I add a picture of myself so then they know who I am. This got a little off center, so I need to fix that. But then I make sure to include my hostess's kids' names in the event too, because we're building their library. So if I know them, then I use them as much as I possibly can. And when I message people, I've been using Joy Lynn's tips sorry, my Siri just activated. I have been going through and making a list of like my parties of like while I'm doing book recommendations, this is what they look like. This is my party tonight. And I just say, thanks so much for ordering books. I hope you and Sophie have so much fun reading them. And, you know, anything that you can do to be personal. This is another one, Melissa Nixon. I don't really change them a whole lot. I do need to change that, but I just change and make them my people. I post things with like how many free books they earned from that party, stuff like that. Everything is personalized.
Oh, that's a dreamy party.
Right? It's a good one.
Nice
But,
free books.
yeah, I know.
So Megan, do you guys just have them all send you those pictures? Do you go and like creep their Facebook page and take them? Do what?
I creep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was making sure I wasn't the only one.
Most of the time I creep too.
Yeah. I mean, unless they just have stuff on some serious lockdown thing,
Right.
then I'll ask them. But most of the time they are posting everything. Hey.
And there was one, like most of the time I'll think they're
My mom is here. Sorry. She's here because she's going to be keeping my girls while we're gone tomorrow. And she just walked in with Kitty Cat, the new Rome one. She went to Rome with us and she's like, I like this book. She's standing at the door saying that.
too funny.
You can take it.
It might go home in my bag. Sorry, ladies.
That's your babysitting fee, Megan.
I pay in books. Hey, if they came over, I mean, like if babysitters would come over and be okay with that, I'd be golden. Really.
Yeah, I heard that.
You can still put them at home. Oh goodness. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, Joylyn.
It's okay. I was just gonna say that a lot of times I'll take their profile picture or one that most of the time it's a profile picture. If they did it as a profile picture, it's something that I know that they liked, unless they were just being silly. But I try to find pictures that have their kids in them or them and their kids. And most of the time I just grab one kind of, you know, creeping around. But this, actually, there was a lady who was, her name is different from the name she ordered from, and she got me all confused about whether her maiden name is something or other. I wasn't really sure if she was married or not anymore, so I went ahead and asked her for, because I went on her Facebook and there were some with a husband or a man with the kids, and I couldn't really find one with just her and the kids, so I went ahead and asked her to give me one. Just to be safe.
That's what I've been doing. I'm like, can I get a picture? Because I don't know. Like some of them, it's just like really, the situations are just so different. I mean, we're in America.
Well, I always get worried that I'm going to grab one and it's going to be like of them and their niece and nephew or something instead of their kids. And I'm going to be like, oh, whoops.
Right. I have some people who don't have children who want to have parties for themselves. And I'm like, so do I put a picture of just them?
Yeah.
Or them and their nieces and nephews. Like I have one who actually she joined. She doesn't have any kids, but she's super close with her nephew. So I put a picture of her and her nephew when she had her party.
I like it.
Yeah, one of my biggest parties was a lady that has never had kids, but she has nieces and nephews and friends, and she is the best party I've ever had.
Nice.
That would be me.
Yay, Lisa.
Nieces, nephews, kids, all around.
Aunts and uncles are the best.
It's easier to spoil them.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
I hope this was helpful for you all. I don't want us to drag on if nobody has any questions.
It's been great.
Very informational.
Good.
Hey, Carolyn.
Any more last minute questions? And we have everything that we told you tonight is all in, I printed it out, but it's all in a document for you all. So we'll put it somewhere for you all to find. I don't know if, since this is a Zoom, I guess, I don't know, we add the recording and then we add it under the recording.
Yeah, we can make it a comment.
And so then you all can get all those tips and all those different messages that we all talked about. Alrighty.
Sounds good.
Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.